On November 2025, China's state media dropped a bombshell that's shaking up the electric vehicle world. Xinhua news agency revealed that while everyone's chasing the holy grail of solid-state batteries, the real power struggle is happening right now between two giants, ternary lithium and lithium iron phosphate batteries. And get this, some top automakers are whispering that LFP is the safer bet, urging caution on ternary lithium to avoid disaster. But here's the fresh twist you haven't heard yet. Industry heavyweights are firing back, saying ditching one for the other could slam the brakes on China's EV dominance. Professor Ai Xinping from Wuhan University just laid it out plain. These aren't rivals to pick sides on, they're scenario superstars. LFP batteries, unmatched thermal stability and built-in safety that laughs off crashes and heat waves. Ternary lithium, a density dynamo, packing more juice for those long-haul road trips and supercar thrills that leave gas guzzlers in the dust. This isn't just tech talk, it's a high-stakes fork in the road for the world's biggest EV market. One path, all in on safety with LFP. The other, power through with Ternary's edge. But experts warn going single style could hobble innovation. To unpack this clash head-on, let's dive into the raw safety versus power showdown fueling the fire. Safety versus power, the core clash. Picking up from that fork in the road, let's break it down raw. Ternary lithium batteries pack a punch with energy density up to 250 watt-hours per kilogram, giving EVs like high-end Neo models ranges over 600 kilometers on a single charge. They're the go-to for performance beasts. Think 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, thanks to that extra power surge. But here's the catch that's got automakers sweating. They're prone to thermal runaway, where a tiny fault spirals into an explosion. Remember those fiery headlines from last year's recalls? Low temperatures also sap their efficiency, dropping range by 30% in winter chills. Flip to lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, the safety champ. These hold steady up to 500 degrees Celsius before any drama, making them ideal for family sedans and fleet trucks where crashes or heat can't be risks. No cobalt means cheaper production too, slashing costs by 20% and easing supply chain headaches. Brands like BYD are all in, powering their Seagull models with LFP for under $10,000 price tags. Downside? Lower density at 160 watt-hours per kilogram means shorter ranges, around 400 kilometers max, and they're heavier, which can make acceleration feel sluggish. Yuan Chengyin, boss at the National New Energy Vehicle Tech Center, nails it. Safety isn't just about the battery alone, it's the whole system design that matters. A well-engineered ternary pack with advanced cooling can match LFP's stability, while LFP needs smart software to boost its range game. And don't sleep on the bias check. That EVE energy director pushing ternary? Yeah, their company's deep in that tech, so grain of salt. Meanwhile, whispers from R&D labs say LFP and solid state will rule buses, trucks and storage soon, sidelining ternary for heavy-duty gigs. This clash isn't abstract, it's billions on the line. Pick wrong and China's EV lead slips. But to see how experts and policies are steering clear of that cliff, let's turn to the warnings lighting up the labs and boardrooms right now. Expert warnings and policy plays. Building on those billions at stake, now zoom in on the voices steering this storm. That unnamed R&D researcher spilling tea from the trenches? Straight fire. All solid-state batteries still lean hard on ternary lithium's cathode tech. Ditch our liquid ternary R&D now, and solid-state stays sci-fi forever. We're talking years of breakthroughs in nickel-manganese cobalt formulas that could turbocharge next-gen semi-solid packs, potentially hitting 400 watt-hours per kilogram densities without the boom risk. Abandon ship too soon, and China hands the crown to rivals like Japan's Panasonic. Ai Xinping doubles down. It's all about scenarios, not showdowns. LFP shines in hot climates and budget rides, holding 80% capacity after 3,000 cycles. No sweat. Ternary crushes cold, starts, retaining 90% efficiency at minus 20 degrees. Perfect for northern winters or luxury exports. But Yuan Chengyin drops the real mic. Battery safety? Judge the ecosystem, not the cell. Cooling gels, firewalls, AI monitoring. That's what turns a spark into a shield. We've seen it. Tesla's ternary packs with blade-style LFP hybrids logging millions of safe miles. Policy's no bystander either. Beijing's rolling out subsidies for dual-route innovators, taxing low-end price slashes to kill the race to the bottom. Think tax credits for firms hitting safety benchmarks across both techs, plus R&D grants pushing standardized testing. The goal? Flip from world's factory to to innovation fortress. Industry buzz says this parallel push could add 20% to EV adoption by 2030, blending LFP's affordability with Ternary's wow factor. But skeptics lurk, like that EV Energy Insider hyping Ternary. Non-independent board seat? Classic conflict. Their Ternary lines are cash cows. Meanwhile, forward scouts predict a shakeout. LFP owning buses, trucks, ships, and grid storage for its bomb-proof vibe. Ternary, niche king for passenger speed demons. And wild card alert. What if we skip batteries altogether? Hack a gasoline engine into a pure generator, fueling electric motors with combustion efficiency, marrying endless range and zero charging weights. Hybrid 2.0, anyone? These warnings aren't just talk, they're blueprints for survival. To test them in the real world, let's hit the roads for the wins, wrecks, and projections that prove parallel power in action. Real-world wins, wrecks, and road ahead. From those policy blueprints to pavement proof, hit the streets where LFP's proving its mettle where stakes are sky high. BYD's Atto 3, all LFP heart, zipped through Australia's brutal outback tests. Zero fires in 100,000-mile fleets, even after off-road bashes. Cost edge? It's flooding emerging markets, with exports to Europe up 50% this year, undercutting Ternary rivals by $2,000 per pack. Buses in Shenzhen? 90% LFP now, logging 500,000 kilometers with cycle life that outlasts the chassis. Safety stats scream it. Global EV fire rates? 1 in 10 million miles for LFP versus Ternary's 1 in 2 million. Ternary's no slouch on the flip. It's the adrenaline junkie. NIO's ET7, Ternary fueled, clocks 1,000 kilometers on a charge with battery swaps in under 5 minutes, dominating China's highway warriors. Export king? Porsche Taycan's Ternary packs deliver 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.6 seconds. No sweat in Bavarian winters, where LFP would lag 15%. But wrecks tell the tale. That 2024 Shanghai blaze. Ternary overload in a multi-car pileup. 20 vehicles torched. Q recalls CATL's tweaking Ternary with silicon anodes to hike density 10% sans boom risk. Hybrid heroes emerge too. Think blade batteries blending both worlds. Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory 50-50 split with LFP for base models, Ternary for performance. Result: 2 million safe miles per employee shuttle. And that genius hack floating in forums? Retrofit gas engines as range extender generators. Burn fuel to spin electric motors, dodging battery limits altogether. Zeekr's testing prototypes. 1,200 kilometers range, no charge anxiety, emissions halved versus pure gas. China's eyeing it for trucks and ships, where LFP rules storage but Ternary falters on weight. By 2030, consensus from Fujian analysts, LFP grabs 70% of mass market rides and heavies, buses, semis, grids for its safety throne. Ternary shrinks to 20%. Premium passenger turf. Solid state? The wild card, bridging both with 500 watt-hours per kilogram and fireproof vibes, but needs Ternary's R&D backbone to launch by 2028. Price wars? Policies curb 'em, funneling billions into joint standards. Miss this parallel play, and China's scale king crown slips to US semis. These frontline stories show the debates alive and charging. Now, let's trace its global shockwaves and the high-stakes bets amplifying the buzz. Section 5. Global ripples and the bold bets ahead. Riding those global shockwaves from China's front lines. This battery brawl isn't contained. It's rewriting rules worldwide. Europe's mandating LFP for urban fleets by 2027. Safety first amid rising fire scares, while US startups like Rivian bet Ternary for their adventure rigs, chasing 700-kilometer ranges to rival Ford's F-150 Lightning. Supply chains? China's 80% grip on LFP cathodes starves Ternary imports, hiking Tesla's US prices 15%. But parallels pay off. Joint ventures like CATL BYD are fusing techs, exporting hybrid packs to India and Brazil, where affordability trumps all. Result: global EV sales projected to hit 40 million by 2030, with China's dual-route playbook claiming 60% share. Bold bets are dropping fast. Solid-state frontrunners, Toyota's sulfide electrolyte, QuantumScape's ceramic barrier, ride Ternary's shoulders for cathodes, aiming fireproof 800 watt-hours per kilogram by 2028. LFP evolves too. Sodium-ion hybrids from Ferasis, slashing costs 30% for grid storage that powers 1 million homes, sans boom fears. And that forum firecracker idea? Gases generator EVs are no joke. Stellantis prototypes clock 1,500 kilometers on a tank, emissions at EV levels, bridging the gap for skeptics in truck-heavy US and Europe. China's testing them for Belt and Road exports, potentially flipping diesel dominance in Africa. Skeptics from Liaoning and Fujian nail the takeaways. LFP's thermal fortress for everyday safety. Ternary's density dash for dream drives, but ditching either? Recipe for regret. Experts like I and Yuan agree. Parallels the power move to quality over quantity. Policies enforce it. R&D mandates. Anti-dump tariffs. Standards harmonizing both routes. EVE's ternary cheerleading. Take with cobalt grains. Independents see LFP surging in heavies. Ternary niche-fying. China's not just building cars, it's engineering the future. From Shenzhen labs to Detroit showrooms, this debate fuels a greener grid. But it demands guts. Invest in both. Innovate relentlessly, or watch leads evaporate. To ignite your own stake in this future, let's close the loop on how you fit into the charge. Igniting the future. China's battery showdown isn't a zero-sum game. It's a blueprint for breakthrough. By 2025's close, with Xinhua's wake-up call echoing, the parallel path is locked in. LFP fortifies the masses. Safer streets, cheaper wheels, dominating 70% of new installs in fleets and homes. Ternary fuels the elite. Longer leaps, colder conquests, carving 20% for the speed elite. Solid state, the fusion frontier, inheriting both legacies for 500 watt-hours per kilogram wonders by 2030. No explosions, endless endurance. That R&D insider's warning rings true. Scrap Ternary's foundation and next-gen stalls. AI Xinping's scenario smarts? Spot on. Match tech to turf, from Beijing blizzards to Guangdong grids. Yuan's system savvy? Game changer, with AI safeguards slashing risks 40% across boards. Policies propel it. Billions in dual tech incentives. Standards sinking routes, ditching dumpy price fights for premium prowess. From scale to supremacy, China's playbook echoes from the edges. Learning's safety nod to LFP. Fujian's density shout out to Ternary. Both hit home. Eve's Ternary tout? Biased buzz, but fair. Heavies like buses and ships go LFP or bust. And that radical rethink. Gas engines reborn as EV generators. It's brewing. Blending range royalty with electric smarts. Emissions gutted. Zeekr's pilots hint the hybrid horizon could eclipse pure batteries for long-haul hustlers. This isn't China's story alone. It's yours. EVs aren't gadgets. They're gateways to a wired world, cutting carbon 50% by decade's end if we play parallel smart. So charge ahead. Demand dual innovation from your next ride. Root for R&D that balances boom-proof peace with power highs. Comment below. Which battery's your bet? LFP's Shield or Ternary's Spark? Or that gas genius wildcard? Like, if this flipped your EV view, subscribe for deep dives on solid-state surges and global green shifts. Hit the bell. The battery battle's just revving up. Thanks for riding. Power on.